guys, I'm so sorry for this video being late. A lot of stuff happened in terms of work and also me trying to record it and then being interrupted and not being able to actually get back to recording it. Totally my bad. I hate being that YouTuber, however small I am, you know, apologizing for having a video up late, because I always think that, you know, if you foresee yourself being busy, that you should at least be able to plan ahead, and I didn't. So I'm sorry about that. Also, you guys did really well with sending in questions, which I'm really thankful for. But I would like to say from now on, I'm probably going to avoid answering questions about BuzzFeed, just because I don't want this channel to be mooching off of BuzzFeed's fame. I'm really thankful that you guys have been, you know, found me through BuzzFeed, but I don't want this channel to turn into, you know, a way that people can find out more about BuzzFeed, because this channel isn't affiliated with BuzzFeed. I don't make any money off of talking about it. You know, I started off this channel because it's about me. So I hope you guys understand, and if in the future you see that I don't answer your question about BuzzFeed, that's most likely why I'm not going to be able to answer it. If that makes you upset, I'm really sorry, and I never intended for that to happen, but I think that's what's right for the channel. Alright, let's move on to our Instagram questions. So, suhmmie asks, can I keep you in my basement, Sereno? Question mark, question mark. I love you. Thank you. That's very sweet. Yeah, you can keep me in your basement if you have a lot of really good Japanese food and just a life supply of video games, just like consistently coming in good video games. I'll probably be happy. Like if you're willing to feed me, pay my rent, or not charge me rent, and just let me laze around, and well, I would also need to, you know, be able to invite people over, and you know, if you can meet all of those criteria, then yes, you can keep me in your basement. You got no jams underscore asks, are you content with where you are in your life? If you are, how did you get to this point? I am content with where I am. I think it all comes from believing in yourself and trusting your instincts and following your heart. I say this probably almost every Q&A video I make now, but it's very true, I think. It can be a very scary thing to follow your heart if the thing that your heart is telling you is not a tradition, you know, a traditionally, institutionally lucrative thing to do, like entertainment. You know, if your heart is telling you to do a program, then hashtag privilege. I think that's kind of like the root way of being happy, is to follow your heart and to trust yourself no matter what other people say. You know, it's all about following your heart and not letting people convince you that the way that you feel inside is invalid in some way, because I think that happens a lot. We live in a society where sometimes we try a little bit too hard to get everybody's approval. I don't know, I guess it's weird. Sometimes we look for people's approval, but then also we can just be so into ourselves too. But we're into ourselves in a way that we don't actually follow our heart, which is strange, I think. You know, a lot of people think that, you know, oh, I hate what I'm doing, I hate what I'm studying right now in school, but as soon as I work for a big company like Google or Facebook, I'll be happy. And maybe it is, if free food and money is the most important thing to you, but at least I found that it's not. At the end of your free lunch or your free, you know, event or anything, you're gonna have to go back to work. Like, that's the majority of your day. It's still gonna be work. For the free food and the pay, it's not going to fill the hole in your heart, in my opinion. Adorbspanda, what do I have to do to get a date with you? Oh my god, that's so sweet. Oh, that's right, you're the one that posted me on your Man Crush Monday. I saw you. I see you. Let's see. Be tall, work out. I don't need you to be like a roided out muscle jock, but I think it's all about taking care of yourself, being passionate about what you do. Passion is a big turn on for whatever you're doing. and being creative in some way. Creativity is a big turn on for me too. adorbspanda also asks, what's your best dish you cook? The best dish that I cook would probably be kimchi fried rice. I posted a picture of it on my Instagram actually, because honestly it's probably one of the only dishes I know how to do well, because in college I was really lazy, but I also wanted to like actually learn how to cook, and so there was this restaurant that made really good kimchi fried rice, and I wanted to learn how to make it myself because I was like, okay, it's not that, can't be that hard, and it wasn't. It was just a matter of getting the ingredients and messing up the first few times, and I was so lazy to try any other kind of dish besides, you know, like plain pasta, and so I basically just kept making kimchi fried rice until I really like just perfected the process of it. I'm also good at making okonomiyaki and crepes. Apple crepes to be specific, but I haven't made those in a while either, so I assume that if I proved it to you, I'd probably fuck it up. doublefantasyy asks, how did you get into video production? This is how I got into video production. This camera sitting in front of me is how it all started. Actually, maybe that's not necessarily true. So for those of you who don't know, I was part of a theater club, and it was a really important time for me to just rediscover my creative side and just to really let loose all of the parts of myself that I thought were superfluous as an adult, as a burgeoning adult. And so I remember talking all the time to my friends at the theater club about how much I love YouTube and how I wanted to become a YouTuber. How I didn't really care about being famous, I just wanted to try it. And they told me I should, and so I asked a lot of my film friends in the theater club about how to properly light myself, what kind of equipment I need, and how to edit on Premiere. So it was something that I just did for fun for the year, in my senior year. And then when I heard that BuzzFeed had interns, had an internship and fellowship program, I decided to just apply because I was so desperate. I was just applying to everything. I was lucky enough to have this YouTube channel as my body of work, and so it oddly fell really well into place. It's really weird. I mean, okay, granted, it was a really hard 3 months between graduation and being hired. It was such a hard 3 months not knowing what I was going to do with my life, but I'm reminded every day of how lucky I am to be where I am. Oh, how do you get over being hypersensitive? Hypersensitive in what way? Because if it's physically hypersensitive, then I don't know if there's much you can do about that. In terms of like emotionally and mentally, I can definitely relate to that. If it's very severe, then I would say that you should try to find help. And there's absolutely no shame in finding that help from a psychiatrist or, you know, your school counselor. But if it's just something that's, you know, is not directly tied to, you know, like a mental issue or disorder. YouTuber Davey Wavy, I think he taught me a lot about being okay in your own skin and being okay with being alone. That, you know, it's important to take yourself out on dates, you know, to just treat yourself to dinner and to just really enjoy the time that you have being alone, because I think we live in a society where we feel like we constantly need to be socializing. People come and go, but you'll still have yourself, and that's kind of why it's so important to have a good relationship with yourself, as weird as and meta as that sounds. And I think the more you feel that way, the more easy it will feel to be less sensitive about stuff that happens to you and stuff that people might say about you. I have no idea if this answers your question because I don't know what aspect of hypersensitiveness this is, but if I didn't answer your question, please clarify and I will try to answer it in the next video. Oh, sorry, the person that answered this question was amulyaishere? Yeah. Kevin Nguyen 468 asks, how do you feel about Asian stereotypes? Oh, I love them. They're great. It's interesting because there's a level of privilege that comes with being Asian. I get it. Like, Asians are probably the most privileged minorities in America. Although I'm very thankful for the privilege that comes with being Asian, there are still a lot of disadvantages from being a minority, you know, in terms of people being comfortable of making fun of Asian people, in terms of, you know, us being successful in certain areas but not being allowed to be successful at all in, you know, areas like entertainment or the arts. And I also think that it's very important to use this, at least this small amount of privilege to help other people of color. Not to speak for them, but to help them in any way that you can. Pathamadigapola asks, if you could choose this Pokemon starter, who would you choose? You need to be specific. What generation? What generation? I'll probably just go with the first Pokemon starter. So I remember picking Bulbasaur as my first starter, and I will stick with that decision because Bulbasaur is awesome and adorable, and I like grass Pokemon a lot. Written by Anna. How did you know for sure that you wanted to be in entertainment? And no, I don't want you to stop asking questions. I knew that I wanted to be entertainment from... I think it was just my interests, you know, watching YouTube and being in theater. I think it was pretty clear to me that I wanted to do something creative, and I liked making people happy. To anyone asks, good name. How do you get senpai to notice you? JK, but what do you do when you fall for a straight guy? Oh, that's so hard. You can't decide who you fall in love with. And that just sucks because, you know, the majority of the people in the world are straight. This rarely works, but honestly, like, you just need to give yourself, like the best answer that I can give you is, because I've been in this situation many times before, I think it's just important to allow yourself to slowly come to the realization that the person will never love you back, and that you deserve to have a person that loves you back. Samgnarly asks, bike or skateboard? Bike. I'm a nerd, I don't skateboard. Samgnarly also asks, how do you keep your beautiful smile? I brush my teeth, and I wear retainers. Cuamy asks, opinion on the anime Free. Okay, so I remember watching Free, and I was pretty drawn into it just because it was attractive guys, you know, and you know, swimming and the animation is, oh my god, to die for. It's so pretty. And as predictable as the anime is, it still got to me. Like the ending of the first season, it got to me. But because of how predictable it was, I really wasn't inclined to watch the next season. I like committing to animes that I know have something new about it, that break the mold a little bit, that are intellectual in some sort of way, like Madoka Magica and Garden of Sinners and Haruhi Suzumiya, even though I don't, yeah. Beastmadness asks, what is your dream? Like, biggest achievement for life? Fame and fortune! I'm just kidding. I really don't think, at least from where I am right now in life, it doesn't feel like there's not like one big goal that I want to limit myself to, because I've learned the hard way that you should never propose that you know what is going to happen with your life. Like, you should never plan to, like, too far off into the future, because things can happen that can change the course of your life for the better, even if you don't realize it. And so I've kind of just stopped, like, setting like, you know, these big grandiose goals for myself. I mean, like, I set goals for myself, obviously, you know, like, to do well at my job and to, you know, always make sure that I'm happy and that I'm fulfilled. And honestly, I think that's kind of one of the biggest achievements that you can do. It's just to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and that you're not lying to yourself that you are happy even though that you're not. And I think it's those, like, small little satisfaction and victories that happen every day in terms of happiness that will accumulate into something bigger, you know, that the level of fulfillment and achievement that you get, it will start inspiring other people to follow their dreams as well. Okay, so that's all the questions that we have. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. Once again, if you have more questions for the next video, I will have a call on Instagram, or you can also ask on the comment section below. But I'm curious to know, what do you guys consider what your biggest achievement would be in life? And also, what Pokemon starter would you pick? I guess that's basically it. Once again, I'm sorry about this video being late. I'm gonna try to be better about it. It's really hard because work is really busy. I love you all, and as soon as I turn off this camera, I will put out another call for questions because I want to try to make it up. And once again, if there's anything that you guys want to see more out of me, like maybe, you know, telling me to try like a video game or to talk about another video game, please let me know. I think I've gotten a few comments about it, but nothing really specific enough for me to act on. Yeah, so I'll see you guys later. Bye!